I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
Right. I should probably caveat this episode, possibly the next one, for potentially being a bit shorter than normal. Because, well, we've spoken about my excursion, but it's imminent and we're colossally underprepared.
Yeah, as usual, really.
Yeah, there will be car content, but it might not just be as jam-packed as usual. But there you go.
Well, let's see where we go.
Well, that's it. We don't know. We're just treat it as some sort of grotty prenup or something like that. Right. Here's one thing. I was down memory lane the other day.
Oh, no.
Do you remember when Harry Enfield was at the height of his fame?
Yes.
And off the back of it, they did the Kevin and Perry Go Large film.
They did. I remember it well. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, and I watched it. I watched it last week.
Yeah, I do actually have a copy of it. Yes.
And I you know what? I there was that sort of hint of nostalgia. It got someone spotted it on a streaming service and went, oh, wow, that'd be like being a youth again, that.
Yeah.
Because I loved it at the time. I was in it with banging tunes anyway. And I thought, oh, I bet I'm going to watch this and just hate it. But no, I didn't. I absolutely loved it still.
It is still good. It's very much of a time, isn't it?
It is dated, I'll grant you that, but it's still the nonsense that I can laugh at over and over, as it turns out. I haven't watched it in years, maybe decades, but it made me laugh a lot.
I think it shows, quite rightly so, that you haven't grown as a person at all.
No, that's it. Physically slightly larger.
Yeah.
But yeah, mentally no different from being, God, what would I have been at the time there? I'd have been really late teens when that came out.
Okay, yeah, I'd have been a bit older than that, but
yeah. I was properly in my throwing shapes in club stage.
You were sort of at the stage that they're at in it.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit older than
a little bit older than that. Yeah,
just as pathetic.
Oh yeah, you haven't got any more of a clue than they have.
No, still haven't.
No.
However, I made an observation, and granted, it wasn't a shrewd observation; it was staring you in the face. But when we watched Harry Enfield and Chums and Harry Enfield's TV program and all that spawned these characters,
yes,
it was a sketch show. You saw them in isolation.
Yes.
Whereas the film shows you what goes on around them.
Yes.
And it showed them living in a town, suburb, something like that.
It's kind of nondescript, isn't it?
Nondescript.
Yeah.
But what really made me chuckle, and there's a very good Stuff and Waffle reference in there, when it showed where Kevin lived, they left the house, and then it was big wide angle, and the camera pans across the street. And they are done deliberately, obviously. Every single car parked outside all the houses is a Mark 1 Focus.
Really?
Yeah.
I have never noticed that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'd never noticed it before, because you probably at the time probably had a little chuckle to yourself, and that's it. But
yeah.
And it just made me
there you
think
are.
of us.
You see, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
I might have to check that out now. That's very good. That's very good.
No, so that's not only did I laugh at the silliness, but
that's beautiful.
I laughed at the cars.
They're clearly all listeners on that street, and they've followed our advice to the letter.
Yes, somewhat retroactively, but they've done that nicely. Really good.
Well, I suspect when we did the episode about the time machine, perhaps some of our episodes had fallen through some sort of temporal.
Oh, yeah, that'll be it.
Distortion.
Marty and Doc are spreading the word back then, you see.
That's what's happening there.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. But interestingly, off the back of that, I thought of another film where they place a certain amount of car repeatedly throughout. Have you seen The World's End?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, firstly, you should. It's very funny.
Oh,
What? Annie's back. It's Thursday, and the bell end is outside.
our friend is back. There he goes.
Goodness sake, that was it. Because last week we recorded, it was a Wednesday. He wasn't there. It's
He
Thursday.
wasn't there. It's Thursday night, so he's clearly going somewhere. Yes.
Oh dear. Right. Well, that was it. World's End.
Yes.
So not only is it a splendid film, nice Bond reference too. Pierce Brosnan's in it.
I think I knew that. Yes.
Yeah, but it's something about the Simon Pegg and Nick Frost films, because previous to that, Hot Fuzz, they had a bit of Timothy Dalton, didn't they?
Mr. Dalton in there. Yes.
Yes. That wasn't what I was going for, but the cars, World's End, when they were back in their hometown, which all this story sort of centers around. It's basically they go back for a night out in their hometown to rekindle their youth.
Right.
I won't say any more than that because it'll spoil it. However, all of the cars parked around their hometowns are Vauxhall Amperas.
Wow, that's
really specific.
That's really specific.
Yes. And a car that, well, that was a bit of a flop, really.
Well, yes, I was going to say it wasn't a massively successful vehicle.
It should have been. It should have.
Yeah.
But
yes, it should have been, and it promised a lot. But I don't think people really went for it.
No, I do worry though that it was probably not as publicised as it should have been as well.
No, I don't think it was, and I think because they weren't sure at that point. It was quite early on, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it's. I mean, just to clarify, because it's the. Oh, come on, brain! It's the Chevy Volt.
Yeah, it is under a different name. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, the brain was trying to catch up there, but yeah,
yes,
that's
which has been a very successful vehicle.
Yes, yeah. Were they? They weren't sold here as Chevy Volts, were they?
I
don't think so. I think we only had them as the Vauxhall Ampera.
Didn't Johnny Smith have one?
Oh,
and he sold it to Richard Simons, the chap who sold my Tesla for me.
Oh, he did. But do you reckon it was? Oh God, I do remember I can't picture it though.
Because that was a Volt. That was definitely not an Ampera. That was a Volt. That had a Chevrolet badge on it.
Okay.
But I don't know if he imported it.
And that's what I'm thinking. Was it left-hand drive?
No, it wasn't left-hand drive.
Okay, then. Well,
definitely wasn't left-hand drive because Richard Simons has recently done a video on his YouTube channel about it.
Here we go.
He's still got it.
There we go. Johnny tweeted end of 2019, completely unrelated, but there was a sentence in there where it starts as an ex-UK Chevrolet Volt owner. Yeah. There you go.
It was definitely a Chevy Volt and badged as a Chevy Volt.
Okay, so then certainly there were some here as Chevy Volt.
I'm not aware they sold many because you never see one.
Never seen one, and like I said, I don't think I've ever seen an Ampera in person that I can think of anyway.
No, I don't think I have. Although you would probably miss it.
Well, you say that. I think I quite like the look of it.
Yeah, so do I. I'm not saying it's. Yeah, I don't mean you'd miss it because it's crap. I think it's a Vauxhall. You just look at it and say, well, it's a Vauxhall.
Which is a shame because it does look nice.
Massively successful in the US.
Interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Weird.
It is weird because that's not a EV, is it? It's a hybrid.
Oh, I think so.
Whereas,
yes, it's a range extender, I think is the way they call it.
Yeah. That's right. The internal combustion engine doesn't drive the wheels; it's used purely to charge the battery. Yes,
That seems to be what it is.
Yeah,
okay,
so it's
right.
an EV with an onboard generator. So it's
Okay,
it's a hybrid.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Don't get us started on Toyota again and their self-charging nonsense.
Oh God, no. We have to going to put you back in your box because
back in my box for that one. Yes,
this shit's going to kick off. And oh dear. I mean, we do have time for that. I know we caveated and said
we've covered that before. Let's not start down that angry road.
We don't need stereotyping rants because you could do that one. I'll have an SUV one, and we'll just meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, and that'll be another episode. But everyone's heard it all before. So
they love it. They love it.
They love it.
Oh,
they
love
tune in and go about things.
What's Grandad ranting about today? Oh,
yes.
Oh dear. So there we go. So
I've just found some stills from World's End, and you're quite right. There are they're everywhere.
That must be the entire UK allocation.
Well, it must have been. Yeah. Because that didn't. It promised a lot, and it came out. Didn't it come out about the same time as some other, like the e-Golf and other stuff like that, when the manufacturers were first starting to have a go at electric?
No, that was it. They were sort of all scrabbling, going, "Oh God, Toyota have been doing it a while. Let's do something quick."
Yeah, the Prius was everywhere. I think Tesla had started getting the Model S around the world, and that was when some of the manufacturers started to get a little bit concerned, I think, and they started to look into it.
That's right.
Ford had a go at an electric Focus, which was awful.
Awful. I remember
awful, a pathetic attempt. It really was.
It was verging on milk float technology, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was really crap.
They filled the boot with batteries, so they built a Focus without any of the practicality. None of it had no range. It was really slow. It was terrible. Yes.
Yeah. No,
and they haven't continued that, of course, because they just abandoned it after that.
Thank goodness for that.
And are now concentrating on transits instead, but which are much better. But
yes.
Although you've got more to work with that, haven't you? But
they've got an easy base for that, haven't they?
Yeah, but
still, having watched Johnny's video on that, I think it makes sense to get a commercial vehicle with that sort of range and that sort of price point. They're bang on there.
Oh yeah, and I agree with him that could be a massively important vehicle. Whoever can crack the configurable commercial vehicle market with electric is going to hit it big.
That's it. Because I've made an interesting observation the other day when I did that airport run. The low emission zone now stretches as far as whatever junction it is for Heathrow. So, which is about junction 4 on the M4.
Yeah, they're extending it out all the time.
Which really isn't London. You're not there yet.
No.
But it's all the way out there. So, yes, we drove in an estate car and collected him. Not a problem. You drive in there in any van. Well, not any van. It's probably. I'd imagine there's a wheelbase or a weight limit. I'm generalising, but your average delivery driver, be it Amazon, DPD, whatever, drives in there. That's. I think someone said about 15 quid a go.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot.
That's a bit much. And as soon as you go, well, here goes your electric transit.
Yeah, I have an electric one.
You can go and knock on Buckingham Palace's door, and that's all free.
Yeah, the cost savings, and I think some companies are beginning to cotton onto this. The cost savings are colossal compared to now. The van is expensive to buy, but they're not going to buy it, are they? They're going to lease it, or they're going to finance it.
Yeah, it's gonna just a nice little monthly on it. But you think, all right, Amazon have done this perfectly because all of our drivers around here, they have to own their own vans.
Yes.
If you're an Amazon driver, it's not you're there, you make your money by dropping stuff off.
Yeah, you're self-employed effectively, yeah.
Essentially, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So, the old Bezos isn't daft.
No. No, he's not.
He's rich for one reason only.
Yes.
Crafty little shit.
Exactly that, yes.
But someone like DPD, who actually issue vans to their employees, think of that. God, blimey.
What a concept.
Yeah. And you go, right, it's not going to just be London, it's other cities as well, isn't it?
If it's not, it soon will be.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're going to have to think about this sort of stuff, aren't you? So.
I did read a thing last week. Royal Mail have ordered, I think, 3,500 of the electric Peugeot van, the one you were looking at recently.
Oh, the e-partners?
Yes, those. They've ordered 3,500 of those for use for local deliveries. And that is perfect.
It is brilliant.
Absolutely perfect. Short journeys, start, stop all the time. It's made for it.
Now, do you think someone has done a shrewd business deal there, or someone has been really dense and paid the biggest price they could for leasing all those vans?
Well, yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, because you could have there's some deals to be done there, but you get the feeling that might be a boardroom going, oh yeah, we'll just pay that colossal price.
If someone at Peugeot is smart, they will have approached them. Because if you can get Royal Mail, that's a hell of a contract.
Yeah, it is. And
you get them started on that. You give them a taste for the savings they can make.
'Tis perfection, like you say. That is that.
Yeah. What do they call it? Last mile delivery or something like that?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
All of that, up and down housing estates all day, start, stop.
I mean, diesels hate that.
Which is why the state of the Royal Mail vans.
Oh yeah, they look like they should all be part of some reconstruction on Crime Watch. They look that ropey.
They are hanging. They really are. They sound terrible. They stink. Electric. It's made for it.
It
absolutely made for it. They should all be electric. So I was very pleased. Obviously, countrywide, 3,500 vans is nothing, but
it's a start. Isn't it?
It's a start, isn't it? They're at least thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think once they get a taste for the cost saving, not just in fuel but maintenance on those things, because they are not being driven.
That's it. And you think as well, because if you got diesel vans, commercial vehicles are taxed differently. So
yes,
as we know, we got a diesel van on the driveway, and you go, well, all right, it's quite a modern one, so it's not utterly ruinous, but it still costs money.
It's newer than most of the Royal Mail vans that are not
by some stretch. But yeah, you think we've got one on the driveway, and we accept and we pay the tax for it. But if you've got a fleet of them, my goodness me, that's a big number.
Yeah, it is a big number, and I think we are at or very close to that tipping point where it becomes a no-brainer that you just have to do it, because it's just going to get so expensive to continue to running a fleet of diesels.
Yep, that's it. It's now time for Postman Pat to join the revolution.
Well, there you go.
Yep, so that's good.
So that was good to it was good to see. But
that's good. So we are, but it's nothing but sensible consumer advice and jibber jabber here.
We're on it tonight, aren't we?
What on earth is?
How the hell did that happen?
Right. Okay. Let's drag it back to the crap we talk about them.
Yeah.
I've been trying to be good and just have a wander after work just to clear your head after dealing with just carnage day.
That's very sensible. It's very sensible. Yeah.
That's it. So no, I'll go for a wander. I'll stick a podcast or an audio book in the ear or something just to forget about the world for just a moment.
Wise man.
But I've been wondering about, and like we were doing when it was lockdown strolls, you observe.
Yeah, I did a lot of walking during lockdown. Yeah,
and I tell you what's really apparent. You walk past a household and they've crammed all their cars onto the driveway.
You do see that, yes.
You do. But I tell you what, brand loyalty among a household is a very common thing.
Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? This is really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, there's some that I saw that was crammed full of Audis no older than 2 years. You're like, What on earth are you doing with your money, you silly, silly people?
Finance companies like them, don't they?
My goodness me.
Having another one, are you, sir? Lovely.
Oh, lovely. Oh, one for the wife, sir. Excellent choice.
Certainly only another 600 a month. There you go.
Unbelievable. But, yeah, and it's just weird, isn't it?
It is. But you're right. You do sometimes see that. You also sometimes see the opposite, where you cannot work out what's going on there at all.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There is one particular house around here which is utterly random. I'll give you a quick rundown. They've got a Mark IV Golf.
Okay.
They've got a Mercedes SLK. They've got, what on earth was it? The Peugeot 106. And possibly the only one in the country, I've not looked it up, Subaru Justy.
Wow. Where did that come from?
Yeah. All on the one driveway.
It's truth. There's a lot going on there, isn't there?
Yeah. And you're like, well, that's going to need several conversations to get to the bottom of that one.
You'd need to line up interviews there to figure out what had happened there. Yeah,
that's weird. But then, no, I said, then you go back along the street and you go, but you got the Audi house, the Peugeot house. What we got? There's several VW houses. My goodness me.
VW houses are quite common. I don't know if it's this area particular being sort of popular for the surfists, but
but all the VW houses around here are just diesel toss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, granted. Yes.
And it certainly isn't the service you get from the dealer around here.
Oh God, no.
Oh, awful.
No, we've not got a good one. No. Total arseheads.
Yeah, yes. I'm not going to name them, but a quick Google will tell you.
Those who know, the Renault dealer's not much better.
I've never had dealings with them, which is. So I'm probably going to keep it that way, if I'm honest.
Yeah, our dealings with them were not positive. There's I'm trying to think of some of the houses around here. There's one who's a very close neighbour, actually, just at the other end of the road. They are clearly big JLR fans. I must admit, I'm a little bit jealous of their driveway because they've got a Discovery Sport, and this I'm not jealous of that.
No.
The one I do rather fancy, and I did almost buy one of these, but bought the Model S instead. They've got a Jag XES, which is the 3-litre V6.
Nice.
This was the first time I was looking at a Tesla, and I eventually then bought the XF, which actually has the same engine. That's also the 3-litre V6. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I bought the XF Sport Brake with the 3-litre V6 twin turbo.
You did that correctly. Well done.
Thank you. But I was looking at XEs as well, and we drove both at the Jag dealer. And once I'd driven the two, the XF Sport Brake was the one.
That was the one.
Once I'd parked my rear end in the XE, it's the XF. That's the one I want.
Yeah, so, that's fair.
But it's the same engine. So they've got Discovery Sport and XES. So they're obviously JLR fans.
Oh, they're what they're after then. When they go out to buy a car, they go, cool. What should we go and buy? Something reliable. That's what we'll buy.
That's what they've been thinking there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent choices.
Choices. But
I'll tell you what then. While we're on this theme of people nearby and their cars and what's on their driveway and such like, we've been experiencing what I can only describe as passive-aggressive on-road parking.
Okay. Right.
Which is interesting.
Spot of bother, have you had a spot of bother?
No, it's just there's been no actual altercations. That's, like I said, it is passive aggressive. But on their part, I couldn't give a toss.
No. Well, you've got a driveway.
We do. Obviously, we have the 3 vehicles now.
Yes.
2 of which are on the driveway, 1 of which is on the road.
Okay.
So, not really an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been abandoning my Volvo in the same place. It's parked against the curb on the opposite side of the road to where we live, it's just to keep the flow of traffic consistent, because everyone else is parking on that side of the road as well. So,
well, fair enough. Yeah, it's good that you've thought of that. A lot of people don't.
Continue the theme rather than create a slalom.
Yes.
However, the neighbour opposite now has been a 2-car family.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're a 3-car family. Okay. I haven't quite figured out why yet, because there's only 2 people in that house able to drive, but they've got the 3 vehicles now.
Well, same is true of your household, to be fair.
Yeah, but there is one vehicle that's quite different. The van is
true. I know. Yes, I know. But
all of theirs are passenger vehicles.
Okay.
So that's the bit that's a bit odd. And you go, well, fair enough. If you want another car, have another car.
Yeah.
Showing off with your frivolous funds.
Yes.
However, this parking space now where I've been leaving the Volvo, he wants it, and he wants it hard. Pardon the phrase.
Does he now?
So to the point where I was out one day and he parked his car. Then went, fair enough, and I just parked further down the road. Don't care.
Yeah, whoever gets there first is public road. So yeah.
And my car has remained down the end of the road now.
Yeah, well, you don't move it a lot, do you?
I don't move it a lot, and when I do, I put it back down the end of the road.
Okay.
So none of the passive aggressiveness is on my part here. I'm just trying to convey that. I haven't tried to nab this space back. But what I have observed every morning for over a week now, since their new vehicle has arrived, when they want to take the car that's on the road, another one is brought out from the driveway, positioned directly behind it, and when one leaves, the other one is slid into place in unison.
Oh, they're one of those. Yes, I have run across similar situations.
Right. I just look out the window with utter envy of going, I wish my life was as vacant as yours.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's the thing, isn't it? They clearly, if that is the biggest thing you've got to worry about.
Yeah. I just like, what is this nonsense? It's a parking space. For the love of God.
Yeah, well, actually, it's not. It's a public road.
It's not.
Yes.
It's curbside. What on earth is happening here? Why have we ended up at this point?
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? It's a bit sad when that sort of thing happens, but it does happen.
It does, and it's just very... That's it. You can sort of see him having a little shifty look, and like, no one cares. No one's out there to steal your space.
No. You just... Well, why would you care? I mean, I don't
know.
Understand. Do you have to park right in front of your house?
Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
Don't get that.
Maybe that's a listener question. Going, are you fastidious about where you park your car? Well, when you're at home, I am quite fastidious when I'm out and about where I park it.
I'm quite choosy in a car park, I have to say. Although when I had the Model S, that was kind of necessity because it didn't fit in all the
spaces. Which is a problem because all the spaces are the same size around here. So
yes, and they're not Model S sized. I can absolutely testify to that.
No, but I know what you mean. If it's a supermarket trip, you'll go, I'll tell you what, I'll walk further and have a quieter parking spot.
We went in a multi-storey for the first time in years this week.
No, very good.
Yeah, that was quite an experience. That was.
You're in the car for it though, which is.
That was. Well, you say that.
Oh, go on then.
Because these places are now full of SUVs. SUVs badly parked. Even wedging the Puma into available spaces was a little bit of a challenge.
I see. Is it even one of when you say challenge? Is it so much so you'd ask the passenger to get out before?
Well, we did have that issue because we got up it was during the really, really hot weather, so we did not want to park on the top deck in the sun.
That's fair.
We were quite happy to be inside.
Yeah, definitely.
Oftentimes in the past, I would go straight up to the top deck because most people won't, and it's often quieter, and you'll get a better space.
Oh, and when you were full smug mode engaged, you go, well, I'm on the way back to the car now. I'm just going to pre-chill that.
There's less of an issue with the Model S, I grant you. You were less at the whims of the weather.
Yes.
Hop on the app and do it. But even in years gone by with Jags and Minis and things, I quite often would just go straight up to the top deck because then there's no messing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm with you on that because you just go, well, it's going to be quiet up there because people are, even though they're operating a vehicle and not having to expend much energy, I can't be asked to drive to the top level.
That's right, and they can't. And invariably, the top level is quieter. So normally I just go straight. But as I say, there were two. One, it was baking hot, so we didn't want to leave the car outside for several hours.
Hideous to get back to.
Oh god, leather interior as well. We wouldn't have been able to get in it. Oh, and that metal gear knob.
Oh, that's it.
You'd have needed a trip to hospital after changing gear.
Oh yeah, that's it. You're going to select a gear, and that's the one you're going home in.
Yeah, I'm in first all the way because I'm not touching that again.
Nope.
Yes. I have not brought my asbestos gloves.
Oh God. I'm sure I've heard these phrases before.
Leave it. So there was that, but also, and this is a nice aside that links us in a little bit to our previous conversation there, is that the top deck of this particular multi-storey, there's been a canopy constructed over the whole lot, which is covered in solar panels, and every space has a pod point charger. So the top deck is completely given over to EV charging.
Oh my God, are we going to go talk about bloody multi-stories? Is this the one that's...
you started just talking about parking.
We did. Is this the one in Exeter that's connected via the sort of over-the-road walkway into Primark?
No, it's the next one down.
Right, next one. Okay, yeah.
It's next to that one. It's the slightly. I don't know if it's smaller in terms of spaces. It looks smaller.
I know the one.
But it's that one. Anyway, they're right next to each other. They're only separated by a road. So
I know exactly where you
are. Anyway, so we were in there. We got up onto the second level and spotted a space next to some enormous thing. I think it might have been a Mercedes, but I'm not sure.
Oh dear.
And we got in the space and then thought, oh, well, I can climb over. I can get out on your side. That's all right. I can't.
It's crazy, isn't it? That you have to factor that in.
Puma. We're in the Puma.
Not a big car.
But then, as luck would have it, on the other side of the row we were on, there was an end space which was next to the paying machine.
Yep.
And it was a little bit wider. And just after we'd got ourselves wedged into this, what had been made a tiny space by this badly parked Mercedes, a Range Rover pulled out of this wider space. And we thought, was no one coming?
Should we just have it?
Yep. Yes. We did. We parked the smallest car in the widest space.
Well,
I'm sure everybody hated us, but we were able to open the doors.
Yeah, but you've got to factor in a car park ding.
Well, you do. And, of course, that being a 3-door car, it has longer doors. So you need more space. That's why I don't like 3-door cars generally. But then I tend to buy estates or saloons and things like that. So
I know what you mean. We have that issue because the Minis park down the side of the house on the skinny bit of the drive, which
longer doors. It does make a difference. It does make it harder to get. If it was a 5-door car, it would be easier to get in and out of in a tight space.
It's not ideal. There's a couple of times where I've just gone, probably just get out of the boot, really.
Well, of course, when I had my Mini, I used to put it in the garage. So it was, but I was a lot thinner in those days. So.
Minis or you?
Both.
Both. Dear. I don't think I've had a garage at my past 2 homes. I've never parked a car in it.
I have had a garage at our last two homes, I've never parked a car in it. But the last house I had on, well, the only house I ever had on my own, I used to put the car in a garage. But it was the Mini, so it was easy. Once I bought the X-Type, which was the tail end of living in that property, not a chance. But the Mini used to go in quite all right.
Okay.
But, so a bit of multi-story action there. It's the first time I've been in a multi-story for a long time.
Well, we don't go anywhere, do we?
We don't go anywhere, and I would avoid them with less because it wouldn't fit.
I know, but we've managed to really just hammer home the nothing but interesting topics tonight. But
we're right on it. Yeah.
Like, the worst multi-story I went in, it was Heathrow.
Oh God.
It was massive but tiny at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I've been in that one long time ago.
It was the one at Terminal 3, and I was in a Volvo V90.
Oh, that's the car for
it. My goodness me, that didn't fit in the bit that you were meant to drive along, let alone the spaces.
Oh dear.
Honestly,
that's not going to work.
That was tight.
Yes. Yeah, they are, though, aren't they? And sometimes it's not always badly parking because the concrete pillars are right up to the line. So you've got no room, and sometimes there'll be railings and all sorts. But of course, with the atrocious level of parking ability that we have these days,
and
there's not one of them on straight.
And with a multi-story like that, with everyone packed so tightly in, there's absolutely no quiet spots.
No,
you can go up and down the levels willy-nilly. There, it is rammed.
Yeah, constantly.
No matter what time of day.
Never stops. So, no.
Yeah, that was thoroughly unpleasant. That was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so don't do that. I recommend against it. When you go, take a motorbike when you go there. It might be a bit tricky for the suitcases.
I was going to say, if you're doing a run to pick someone up, that might be you might need to tow a trailer or something.
Well, they should just be grateful you're there to pick them up.
Yeah, there is that. It's their own lookout if they're asking you to do it, to be honest.
Well, he's asked several times now, so there we go. He's had good service. But there we go. That's non-stop interesting. We'll promise next week to not talk about all of our parking exploits or preferences.
Or maybe we'll cover it in even more detail.
Oh, God.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.